Welcome to episode 22 of Behind the Shield. Today we get to talk to cross country and track and field standout Jake O'Neill. Hello again, everybody. Scott Guys joining you for another episode of Behind the Shield. Today we get to talk to Jake about winning a conference championship last year, losing his junior track season last spring, and what his hopes and aspirations are, not only for this coming year, but also professionally as well. So after this commercial break, Jake O'Neill.
York College, we are proud of the fact that we have over 30 cultures and 30 countries represented among our campus community. We not only are proud of that fact, we celebrate the unique perspective and differences that each and every person on this campus brings to us. So on behalf of all of us at York College, I want you to know that you are welcomed here.
Tu eres bienvenido aquí. Vous êtes bien reçu ici. You're very welcome here.
You are welcome here.
You are welcome here.
Você está bem-vindo aqui.
You are welcome here.
You are welcome here. You are welcome here.
You're welcome here.
معكم رقية آل الشيخ من كلية يورك في بنسلفانيا. أنتم مرحب بكم هنا. We are welcome.
From day one at York College of Pennsylvania, you are welcome here.
Welcome back to episode 22 of Behind the Shield. Today, Jake O'Neill from our cross country and track and field teams joins us. Jake, good to see you. How you been doing?
Yeah, I've been well, Scott. Thanks.
First question we get to ask everybody: how have you fared during quarantine? It feels like forever since we've seen each other, and it has been the middle of March, and we're here in the middle of July, so it's been a while.
It's been a long time. I'm doing pretty well. I'm a mechanical engineering major, so I actually had basically a full course load over the summer. So I have that keeping me busy. And besides that, I'm just getting to spend some time with family and running to and from the beach when I can.
That seems to be a typical refrain. I think one thing that we've all maybe don't recognize necessarily in this entire thing is the benefit of getting to spend time with family. I've probably seen my kids a lot more than they want to see me. But it's been nice. It's nice to get to spend some more time with them, especially in this situation. Have you enjoyed your family time?
Yeah, it's been really good. I have a sister who goes away to school as well, so she's home with me and everyone's together, so it's nice.
So you get to do your indoor season last year, and then before, about 2 weeks before we actually compete outdoor, the season gets canceled. How hard was that to, you guys were building some momentum in the indoor, obviously had a great cross-country season. Was it tough to just have everything just end so suddenly?
It was definitely pretty a weird experience. We do treat indoor as sort of like a lead up to spring. So we had a lot of big plans and a lot of big goals, as we always do. There's a lot in the works, and then for it to so suddenly kind of be cut down, I guess, it for sure felt like a piece of normal life was missing without competition and heading home, leaving all the guys from school. Definitely a big curveball, but I guess we've stayed in high hopes. A lot of us continued running through the spring and just kind of connected with each other online, talking about training and, keeping emotions get in check. So
how important is it that you're still able to stay in contact with your teammates? Obviously, the technology is so much better than, 5-10 years ago. How important is that you guys have been able to keep in touch?
I think it's huge. I mean, we have a very, very close-knit team. If we were to be on campus, all of us would be spending every day together. And that's definitely one of the things that I like the most about running at York College is just Coach Lobo and the guys. And so I think keeping in contact like that, even though we can't be face-to-face and we can't be running together, we can still see what each other's up to and see what kind of mileage we're putting in. So I think it kind of bridges the gap between the closing down and whenever we get to be back together.
So as a mechanical engineering major, I would assume that you have to very much structure your time with workouts and everything and competing and being able to, have compartments when you can train and then when you have to study. How hard was it this spring to have that training aspect kind of taken away from you where you're just doing classes? Did it kind of screw you up a little bit as you were making that adjustment?
It definitely did. So There are definitely times where it's tough to balance the two of those, and you would think it would maybe be easier not having mandated practice times and things like that. But on the flip side of that, I really do think that running is a way to kind of keep me sane with engineering. It's sort of like a specific time of every day of the week where I get to kind of rest my brain and take a breather from whatever I'm learning or working on, hang out with friends and get some physical exercise in. So having that piece missing probably is a bit of a change, and it's hard to pull yourself away from work when you don't have things that require you to do that. But everything's about a balance. I had a coach in high school who said you have to pick two of the three, and he always meant between academics, athletics, and a social life. So maybe it's just kind of investigating where you go between all three of those routes, and it's a different take on it, but I think I've done okay with it so far. So
let's wind the clock back a little bit and take a look at last fall. Obviously, an awesome championship meet, winning the conference at home. Really thought we had a lot of people there, which was really cool to see. I always enjoy having you guys run a home meet because I get to see you run, because I don't get to do that very often. What was it like to be able to win a conference championship on your home course in the last year in the league? How much fun was that to be able to celebrate that with your teammates?
It honestly was just kind of like everything came together in the perfect place. It's hard to imagine like a better way to leave a conference than to do it the way that we did it. Like you're saying, having everybody out there is definitely a way bigger turnout than we usually see, just being so close to school. And I guess capitalizing on that last opportunity to put your college's name in the books for that conference is a pretty big deal. And it's something that has to be pretty confidence inspiring for us as a team as we head into a new conference.
Speaking of moving into a new conference, we head into the MAC this fall, and you guys are, let's be honest, you guys are pretty loaded coming back. What is the excitement level for you guys knowing that you're going to have a chance right off the bat? And it's going to be, one of the things Coach Lobo talked about earlier was, 18 teams. Like, it's huge. It's a huge meet. How much fun is that going to be for you guys to get a chance to do something like that?
Oh, it's going to be a blast. I think there are some high expectations on our side, as well as everyone who knows we're coming into the conference. People will be looking for us, and I think that's something that we can take advantage of. We know that we have to come in hard and be a contender within the conference, and you're getting at the fact that we didn't lose anybody from, our top varsity side for cross country. So if you think about the other teams who are losing guys, and we come off a conference win this previous year without losing anybody, I think pretty much everyone knows that we're going to be coming into the conference heavy, and we're going to be doing everything we can to hit those marks that we have put in place on our own side.
Is that motivating? Like, as you're running during the summer, even though you're by yourself, of knowing, hey, the target's probably going to be on our back a little bit, but we obviously have the ability to do it. Is that a motivating thing for you as you're kind of going through training by yourself in the summertime?
It absolutely is, and coupled by the fact that we're going to have all that new competition, definitely when you think about it, can get you excited. And if you think about the fact that we haven't ran together as a team in quite a while now, having something like that to kind of stir you up and get you going is pretty important at this point. And I think that we're in a great spot to kind of use that and run the train, do our best, and be ready for whatever opportunities we get come this fall.
Yeah, it's going to be fun. I can't wait. I want to turn the subject a little bit towards being an athlete that is pretty much going year round now with cross country and then track and field, and having a major that's pretty challenging like mechanical engineering. What are some of the things that you think you've benefited from being an athlete, from being a Spartan athlete, and then also taking a tough major? What are some of the things that you think you'll be able to take away as you head out in your professional life here shortly?
Sure. So like I said, it is pretty demanding at some points, and it may not show. Maybe my peers wouldn't always agree with me, but it has definitely taught me some time management skills. getting things done when you have the ability to do so and not waiting until you absolutely have to is important. And it's something that I've worked on and continue working on. On top of that, just having those relationships outside of school is so important. I know for me, it's a breath of fresh air to kind of get away from the desk and forget completely about whatever we're talking about in classes or whatever project I have to devote time to, and just kind of, I guess, focus on a different aspect of my life. And obviously I have pretty big goals in both sides of things. So it's pretty important that I can step away from that and make sure I am taking advantage of the things that I have to run after, I guess.
Is it kind of a relief sometimes when you just get out and get to go run and get to go practice?
It's a big deal. It really is. Sometimes, I feel like I shouldn't leave because I have so much still to get done. And the second you get outside, you feel the sunshine and whatever's going on, you see other practices around you, and to meet all the guys and see Coach Lobo, and even just talking about anything besides school, during the run, we all joke around with each other. So it's a big deal. It's one of the main contributions to, I guess, getting as far as I have within my major. And without that, I think it would have been more of a struggle than it has been.
Talk a little bit about the culture, because it certainly seems like when I see you guys all together and hanging out and getting ready to practice, like you all really like being together. Is that the case, that you guys all have a really good culture within the team?
It definitely is. I mean, it's on the guys' side, it's on the girls' side. It goes between the two sides. It's actually one of the big reasons I came to York after meeting Coach Lobo, and as well as the guys who were on the team back then. It's just something, I guess, translates from year to year. There's something about putting all those hours in with the same guys day after day. I think it comes down to kind of like the pain that you experience together really brings you closer together. We're asked to do certain things, and it's kind of daunting at first, but you all get on the line and you all work hard together and try to pull each other through. And that goes for racing as well. I mean, one of the things I missed about the spring is kind of going into a race and knowing certain teammates will be in the race with me, and having an idea of where we can take that race together, working as a team to make sure we're accomplishing the goals that we have for each other. So just kind of stringing each other along, and when practice is over on the weekends and stuff, we're still hanging out together. So it really does show, even just past the sport, just as friends and just as healthy relationships, that everyone gets along and likes to spend time together.
I think you touched on something there that I'd kind of like to expand on, because I think a lot of people don't understand. They see people who are running and think it's just a one-person thing. Talk a little bit about the teamwork that's involved in cross country, obviously, and then also, like, when you run distance and track, how does the team action work? Like, what are the components of it? What are something that people might be surprised to hear that goes on during races?
I think that's a good question, because there really is probably a lot below the surface from what's visible if you didn't really quite know what you were looking at. But to answer your question, like on the track in the spring, I mean, 5Ks and 10Ks, they're long races. And to have a teammate next to you, whether they're just sliding in front of you to take the lead for a minute, or you're using them to take some wind for you, we do all kinds of things where we trade off the lead for certain laps, or we'll have a certain teammate make a move to try and, there's all kinds of strategy that goes on. And just aside from that, it really is a team sport. Everyone has to be on as an individual that day to accomplish a goal, but you can't do it without, for example, in cross country, your top 5 are the scorers, and then you have at least 2 teammates trying to get in front of the scorers on other teams. So, you can't have a good day if you don't have your 5th guy where he should be, where you need him to be to accomplish goals. So that's one of the reasons during the race that you're looking for green jerseys, and you're looking for anyone maybe who's fallen a step off, and you can try to lift them back up and bring them with you, or track them down late in the race and try and get them to finish hard with you. Anything like that is a big deal. And I guess just kind of running together, it's your teammates who really kind of light the fire underneath of you, because seeing a random stranger within the race might not, get you back on your horse to keep them behind you. But it's the guys you train with all day, and you have an idea of where you should be or could be based on where that person is. So it really does keep everybody in check, and there's a lot of stuff going on within every team out on the track.
I love seeing the green jerseys because we have some sharp looking uniforms and they're super easy to pick out. So I love that.
Yeah.
When you talk about that, it seems like there has to be a lot of trust among your teammates to know that your pacing's correct or that they're willing to go take the lead or take that, push out a little bit. How much does that kind of become involved in, and how much do you talk about it? Is that something that's just kind of, or is it something that you guys talk about either pre-race or like during workouts?
So that's definitely something that's discussed during races and before races especially. So there is some communication that can happen during the race. But aside from that, we do have team meetings where we'll have Coach Lobo discuss what he wants to see and how we feel about where his expectations are at, kind of what we can do, make sure we're doing to accomplish that. And I would say it's something that we definitely practice during workouts as well. So it's not like we're unfamiliar with running with each other. You definitely know certain guys and the way they like to run, the way that they like to race. And I think it just comes from spending time with each other, getting after the workouts that we do on the track or out in the gravel track, even down to things just like hill sprints, just knowing when, being able to pick out when your teammate looks good and when they're starting to get tired and all kinds of things like that.
How much input do you guys have when talking about race strategy? Is that something that Lobo kind of says, hey, this is where I think we can be, and then you guys give input, or how does that process work?
Yeah, I would say, of course, it can vary quite a bit, but I would say in general, Lobo has a strong idea of what he wants to see happen, gives us, his thought process, and we kind of check in on what we think, and he's very open. He's definitely a very accommodating coach, and he's really good at even just like personalized race strategy and things like that. He's willing to listen to anything you say, and he'll tell you too if he doesn't want to see that from you. But yeah, I would say it comes from Coach Lobo, and we kind of talk to each other and talk to him, and everyone has an idea in their own head as well of what they want to see happen. So somewhere in between all of that, we come up with what we want to do and execute it to the best that we can.
All right, one last question. What is one of the favorite parts of being a part of this program? Because like we talked about earlier, you get along, you like being together. It's a great stress reliever for academically. What are things that you look at and you're going, man, I'm really glad I made this choice. I'm glad I came to York, and I'm glad I'm a part of the team.
Sure. There's a lot that come to mind. One that I would say is kind of like, I always call it my favorite day of training would be on Sundays. So Sunday morning we have an early practice and we get our long run in. So once a week we do our longest run of the week, and it can vary anywhere from, I guess, about 80 minutes to 120 minutes or so. Ooh. So some mornings we're getting in, 16 and a half miles together, bright and early. And after that, a lot of us like to go to the dining hall and put down as much food as we can. You can tell everybody's kind of taking it out of them. So just try to refuel and, get the water down and the Gatorade. And then I know myself and a lot of my teammates head back to our dorms or apartments or whatever and take a nice long nap. And I think it's just like an awesome way to have a relaxing day, but also feel productive because you get up and you get the work in so early, and you can spend the rest of the day recovering and still feel like you did a lot that day. And, that's kind of one of the times when we tend to hang out together or watch something on TV, and just kind of, even some days we'll make breakfast together, things like that.
I can imagine that those Sunday morning runs vary in temperature as the year goes along. In August, probably not real pleasant. November, probably a little chilly. Right. So probably a lot of variance in that. But Jake, thank you very much for joining us. Appreciate it. Look forward to getting a chance to watch you guys compete this fall, hopefully. And get a chance to see you guys compete for another conference championship, and then in indoor and outdoor getting to be in a new league, I think is really exciting for everybody. But good luck with your summer classes. Enjoy the rest of your summer. Make a couple more beach trips and be ready to come back. Thanks a lot.
All right. Thank you, Scott.
On our platform, happy to have you along.
We want to thank Jake O'Neill for joining us today on Behind the Shield. Certainly great to catch up with Jake and get a chance to talk about what he's up to this summer as he gets ready for the upcoming 2021 cross country and track and field campaigns. We will close out our track and field and cross country week on Friday with Sydney Fitzwater, our female thrower, and certainly looking forward to getting a chance to talk to her on Friday. Until then, stay safe, stay healthy, go Spartans.